Most people hang pictures in the dining room without knowing that they are creating a permanent spiritual blockage between themselves and abundance. When I was 8 years old, I visited Rabbi Yitzchak's house in Jerusalem. It was Shabbat. The table was set, the candles lit, everything perfect. But I noticed something strange. On the walls of the room where we ate, there was not a single photograph. Neither of family nor of landscapes. Nothing. Just a mezuzah on the door and a framed verse in Hebrew. Curious, I asked why. He smiled and said, "My son, where we eat is not a gallery. It is mikdash me'at, a small sanctuary. And sanctuaries have no distractions. They have portals." It took me years to understand that this was not an aesthetic preference. It was Kabbalistic protection. I will reveal to you in this video 3 secrets that Kabbalistic rabbis teach only in closed circles. First, why the dining room wall is considered an energetic mirror of your financial state, and how photos in this space fragment the flow of Shefa, divine abundance. Second, the concept of kli, the receiving vessel, and how each object either blocks or amplifies your capacity to receive provision. And third, the 7-day purification ritual that my ancestors performed whenever they changed something on the walls of the house. A gesture that protected not only the environment, but the entire sustenance dynamic of the family. Before continuing, if this channel is new to you, hit the subscribe button now. Why? Because this type of knowledge, revelations that have been preserved in texts of the Zohar and teachings of Hasidic masters, does not come to you by chance. And if you are here now, it is because there is something in your financial life that needs to be unlocked. So tell me in the comments, do you have photos hanging in your dining room? Of what? I want to understand. Let me explain something that few understand about the Jewish tradition. In Kabbalah, each room in the house has a specific spiritual function. It's not superstition, it's energy mapping. The kitchen is associated with binah, understanding, where we transform ingredients into food. The bedroom is malchut, the kingdom, where we rest and receive revelations through dreams. But the dining room, my beloved, is the holiest place in the secular house. It is called shulchan, the table, and it's no coincidence that the same word describes the code of Jewish laws, shulchan aruch, the set table. Why? Because when you sit down to eat, you are not just nourishing the body, you are activating the channel of parnassa, sustenance. Each meal is a spiritual act. The sages say that the table replaces the altar of the temple after its destruction. So, if the table is an altar, the walls around it are the curtains of the tabernacle. They must be free of distractions that divert attention from the sacred. Here is the problem. When you hang photographs, especially of people, distant places, memories of the past, you are creating what the Kabbalists call pizur hanefesh, the dispersion of the soul. Each image is a mental portal. You look at a photo of your deceased father while eating, and part of your consciousness goes into mourning. You see a travel landscape while chewing, and your energy goes into the desire to be somewhere else. You are not present. And when you are not present at the table, you are not opening the kli, the receptacle, for the blessing that comes through the food. Let me tell you a story that has circulated in Jewish communities for generations. They say there was a Jewish merchant in a town in Poland. Let's call him Moshe. He worked hard, but the business never thrived, until one day a wandering sage passed by his house at mealtime. Moshe invited him to eat. The wise man accepted, but upon entering the dining room, he stopped at the door and said, "Moshe, how many people eat at this table?" Moshe replied, "Only my wife and me." The wise man pointed to the walls covered with portraits of ancestors and said, "Lie. At least 20 people eat here, and you are feeding ghosts, not the future." He then taught Moshe a principle. Remove all the images from the dining room. Leave the walls clean, or only put verses of prosperity in Hebrew. Moshe obeyed. And they say that within a few months, opportunities began to appear. It wasn't instant magic. It was energetic clarity. He stopped feeding the past and began to create space for the new. Now, I know what you are thinking, but I like my photos. They make me happy. Why would I have to take them down? Great question. And that is exactly why I am going to give you the 3 levels of understanding that will completely change how you see this principle. First revelation, the concept of ayin, the nothingness. In Kabbalah, for something new to enter, it is necessary to create emptiness. It is not an emptiness due to poverty, it is an emptiness due to wisdom. When you remove unnecessary objects from a sacred space, you are not losing. You are declaring, "I trust that what comes is greater than what I hold." And the universe responds to that declaration with flow. Think of it this way. If you have a glass full of dirty water and want to fill it with wine, what do you do first? Empty it. The same logic applies. Your dining room is the glass. The random photos, the decorations without intention, the objects you don't even remember why you hung up. That is dirty water. Prosperity is the wine, but it cannot fit while the glass is full. Second revelation. The technique of Shnei Luchot Habrit, the 2 tablets of the covenant. Do you know what the 10 commandments were written on? Stone. Why? Because stone is permanent, it is structure, it is foundation. Now, what should you hang on the wall of the dining room? Just that which connects you with eternal principles. A framed verse? Yes. A blessing in Hebrew? Yes. A photo of your grandmother who has passed away? No, because that connects you with lack, not with fullness. Imagine someone like Ricardo, a follower who wrote to me a few months ago. He shared that he was always worried about money, even though he was earning reasonably well. When we talked, I discovered that his dining room was filled with photos of family members who had died in poverty. I asked Ricardo, "Every time you eat, do you look at those photos?" He said yes. I replied, "Then every time you eat, you are renewing an unconscious pact with scarcity." He removed the photos. It didn't happen overnight, but he reported that his mindset began to change. Less anxiety, more clarity. With consistent practice, this approach cultivates inner financial peace. Third revelation, and this is profound. The principle of makom, the place. God is called hamakom in Jewish tradition, the place. Why? Because he is not in a place, he is the place. Everything exists within him. So, when you prepare a physical space with sacred intention, you are not decorating, you are creating a portal where the divine can manifest as provision. A pattern that often appears among people who begin to respect this principle is an improvement in the quality of conversations at the table. Families that previously ate in silence or fighting begin to have deeper dialogues. Why? Because when you remove visual distractions, you remove mental distractions. And when the mind is present, the heart opens. And when the heart opens, the blessing flows. Now, if you want to go deeper into this, I have prepared material that doesn't fit in this video. It is the ebook Sacred Architecture of Prosperity, the 12 Kabbalistic principles for every room in the house. Nele, I teach not only about the dining room, but also about the bedroom, the entrance of the house, even the bathroom. Everything has an energetic function according to Kabbalah. The link is in the description. It's not mandatory, but if you feel that your house needs a deep spiritual cleansing, this will guide you step by step. Now comes the practical part. I will give you a 7-day protocol that you can start today. Write it down. Day 1. Conscious inventory. Walk through your dining room and look at each hanging object. Ask each one, why is this here? Does this connect me with abundance or with lack? Does this make me present or does it disperse me? Don't take anything out yet, just observe. Day 2. Intentional removal. Take everything off the walls. Yes, everything. Even if you plan to put it back later, first create the emptiness. While removing, visualize. I release what no longer serves. I create space for the new. Day 3. Physical and spiritual cleansing. Wash the walls with water and salt. 3 tablespoons of coarse salt in a bucket of water. Wipe the cloth slowly from top to bottom, from left to right. While cleaning, say, Tahor, Tahor, Tahor. Pure, pure, pure. Day 4. Setting intention. Before hanging anything new, sit at the empty table, close your eyes and define, what do I want to cultivate in this space? Gratitude, abundance, family unity? Feel the answer. Don't think, feel. Day 5. Discerning selection. Now choose what comes back. The rule is simple. Only hang what connects you with eternal principles or memories of fullness. A photo of a happy moment with your living and healthy family? Yes. A photo from a funeral? No. A verse of prosperity? Yes. An abstract painting without meaning? No. Day 6. Blessing the space. After everything is hung up, stand in the center of the room, extend your hands and say, Blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the universe, who has granted us life, sustained us, and brought us to this moment. May this space be a portal of blessing and not of blockage. Amen. Day 7. First renewed meal. Prepare a special meal on this day. It doesn't have to be expensive, but it needs to be intentional. Eat slowly. Look at the clean walls. Feel the difference. Give thanks. Necessary materials: coarse salt, clean cloth, clear intention, and courage to let go. It is not meant to be a sacrifice. It is meant to be liberation. Expected outcome after 7 days. You will notice that your relationship with food becomes more sacred. And when the relationship with food becomes sacred, the relationship with money also changes, because both come from the same source, Shefa, the divine abundance. I know there will be resistance. Your mind will say, this is an exaggeration. It's just pictures. But let me ask you something. Why is it that in ancient synagogues, in the homes of Kabbalistic rabbis, in communities that preserved millennia-old wisdom, you never see walls overloaded with images? Was it ignorance? No. It was a deep understanding of how energy works, how intention creates reality, how each object carries frequency. You don't have to believe blindly, but I challenge you to test it. 7 days. If in the end it doesn't make a difference, what have you lost? A little time reorganizing your home? But what if it does? What if you discover that you were blocking your own blessing without knowing? Let me recap what you learned today. First, the dining room is considered Mikdash Me'at, a small sanctuary, and should be treated as a sacred space, not as a gallery of memories. Second, Photographs and objects without intention create pizzura nefesh, dispersion of the soul, preventing you from being present to receive the blessing that comes through food. Third, the 7-day protocol. Inventory, removal, cleaning, intention, selection, blessing, and first renewed meal. Fourth, this is not decoration, it is applied Kabbalah. It is ancient spiritual technology that my ancestors preserved because it transforms not only the space, but the consciousness of those who inhabit it. And fifth, when you honor the space where you eat, you are honoring the source that sustains you. And when you honor the source honors you back. Now comes my final blessing for you. Listen with your heart. May your home become a fortress of light. May every wall reflect not the past that binds you, but the future that calls you. May every meal be a meeting with the sacred. May you learn to create holy emptiness, for only in holy emptiness can the new be born. May your table be an altar, your gratitude be an offering, and your life be a living testimony that when we align the visible with the invisible, miracles cease to be exceptions and become frequency. Go in peace. Go in prosperity. Go in conscience. Amen. 3 final requests. First, comment below telling me, do you have pictures in your dining room? Will you test the 7-day protocol? I want to follow your journey. Second, share this video with someone you know who is struggling with money, but who may have never thought that the solution could be in the energetic reorganization of the house. And third, in the next video, I will reveal why placing a mirror in front of the front door is considered one of the biggest mistakes someone can make according to Kabbalah, and what to do if you already have one. Until then, my beloved, may the light of the Eternal illuminate every corner of your home and every decision of your life. You are not alone. I am here, and the ancestral wisdom is here, waiting for you to access it. Shalom, until the next video.